So of course, it can catch you unawares. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be in Champion Select. And look, LeBlanc going to be leaving the table, of course. The answering Rek'Sai ban there as well. So very standard thus far, Rusty, in this Champ Select.
And I'm not surprised they got rid of the LeBlanc. He had an amazing first game on that, carried super hard for his team. So taking off the tables straight away. And the response is going to be a lot of top laners, including Rek'Sai if we want. Yeah,
EDG actually going to be banning away the Hecarim here. And hasn't necessarily been a top pick for Flandre because it's not spelt Maokai.
That's true.
And Nara is going to be the answering ban. Of course, Koro with an unbelievable win ratio on that champion. And, of course, MSI was no exception to that, actually padding those statistics just a little bit. As EDG now taking a little while to think about their final ban. And we'll see whether it is going to be the likes of Kalista, see whether any of these AD carry bans are going to come through. But Urgot or Kalista, one of them's going to make it through. And Deft is going to get Kalista banned at him? I find that strange.
Is going to... Are they looking to prioritize? No. They have so many options available, and Sivir would be one of the most perfect availability options. They've got Maokai in the top lane. They've got the Rumble Aurelia as the counter picks. Even the junglers, they've still got the Gragas available.
Yep.
One of the only early pressure junglers remaining in the solid trifecta of what you like in the jungle, that meta. And with Rek'Sai banned, it'll leave Nunu as the other option, or Sejuani, and they don't do as much early. But Sivir, the priority right now.
Yeah, Sivir's going to be locked in. Of course, Urgot was available. Of course, EDG not deciding to go for that one. Deft has played that in the past and has brought a fair bit of success. 17-4 now is going to be the win rate for Sivir. EDG looking to try and pad that stat even further. Flandre, just pick your Maokai. Come on, we all know you're going to do it.
We'll see if he actually does want to pick that Maokai. There is a lot of options available, even...
Nah, he's going to do it.
Yeah, let's not act surprised by it.
The Alistair being looked at here for Ella, though. Of course, Ella does like to pick up the Janna, but it was banned away, and Flandre moving away from his top lane pick. And we'll see whether EDG are going to be able to pick that one away. No. He threatened it for a bit. But no, of course it's going to be Maokai. What was I even thinking? Should have kept my conviction.
Well, now they've got the Maokai, they've got the Alistar there. That does leave the Gragas open, and with no hesitation, it's going to be taken away. So maybe Snake are rethinking why they are picked that over the Maokai. Azir, another very strong option available. The response in Cassiopeia is going to be there if they decide to lock the Azir in. We'll see what Yu wants to do, and we know that he loves to play a wide array of champions.
Oh, and Martin looking to go for the counter pick as far as the AD carry is concerned. Look, it's counter pick to counter pick. I mean, there's been arguments both sides, but of course Jinx has repeatedly come out on top. Yu, was hovering the Ziggs, of course, taunting us there a little bit with a largely played champion in the past.
You.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. You are good, sir. As Bamey is going to... He, of course, locked in the Azir. So they do have the Azir server combination, and that is just so much despicable wave clearers. Wow, Nidalee being picked up. Beast back onto his aggressive jungler, but didn't necessarily do great things for them the last time he picked it up.
I'm trying to understand why it is that they've gone for this Nidalee with the rest of the team comp that they have. And I mean, they could have just picked a very high pressure mid laner. And we're assuming that the Nidalee is, of course, jungling.
Yeah.
It's going to be very squishy, and you're up
point.
against the Gragas. I mean, it could be the Nidalee mid, and it'll provide a bit of damage, but against the Azir, you would get dumpstered on.
Yeah. Koro considering the Morgana. That's not going to be there as Trundle. Bit of Flandre getting his own back here in the top lane, as Trundle, of course, was brought onto the Rift by Flandre himself and works fantastically against these super tanks, so you get a whole lot of those statistics that a Maokai is going to be building. Wants to have that Spirit Visage, the Frozen Heart, a whole lot of flat stats, and does look like it might be the Nidalee there in the jungle, as there's some mid lane champions being hovered here for the final pick of Snake.
Yeah, so I look at the side of Snake, and I think that they've got a lot of tanks now. They've got the Alistar Maokai, very tanky. They've got a lot of damage coming into the late game that does scale quite well with items. Jinx hitting the 3-item spike. Going to be huge. Ziggs, even with the Luden's Echo now, really allows Ziggs to even last hit the back minions with his bombs that normally they couldn't do because they did nerf that not too long ago.
Yep.
So the Luden's Echo is going to be big on Ziggs and has brought him back into the meta. But then they have this wild card pick, this Nidalee thrown into the mix that if you have a look at the side of Edward Gaming, they've got a Morgana, they've got a Sivir, then the only one that's actually going to be taking the damage is the Azir. So your jungle Nidalee with one big target.
Yeah. And probably not enough targets to be offering here. Of course, they do have a fair bit of extra poke. Ziggs poking out very, very well. Zaps are going to be coming through from this Jinx.
Yeah.
The change hasn't been coming through, so probably not going to see the Zap being maxed first, unless, you know, you're going to go for some extra flat damage early on.
Some people do.
Yeah, some people. In fact, you sometimes do,
Yes.
because we were playing just previously. And, of course, you did say that that's what you do. Of course, I don't, because I can't hit a Zap to save my life. So, look, each to their own. But there is at least some poke damage to be coming down to at least synergize with this Nidalee a little bit. And, of course, they've got the headbutt from Alistair for a little bit of disengage. Flandre will want to be going in all the time, not only because he's Maokai, and that's basically the only decision that you have, but also because he's Flandre, and he just wants to be going in.
Well, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to go in, though, I feel like, with the rest of his team. You said they have a lot of poke, and that is a big factor to actually take into account here, is they're going to be looking to siege once they hit the mid to later stages of the game, even early if they decide to rotate sooner and force EDG into a situation where they want to fight. They've got the Ziggs, they've got the Jinx, and they've got the Nidalee now. So they've got 3 members who are very good at sieging and poking. And of course the Saplings, if we want to take that into account.
Yeah, that's true.
They've got the threat of diving because they've got the Alistar and the Maokai who can both just press R and be basically unkillable. So they've got the makings of what is a really good siege comp. But it's going to be really hard to execute again against the side of EDG.
Yeah, EDG have a lot of tools to deal with that one, but let's see how it goes as we hop onto the Rift. And here we are, we're onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for EDG taking on Snake, the one team that seemed to have EDG's number in the previous split. Things have changed up just a little bit, and Koro back on the lineup again. There's Amazing Jay, going to take some time off.
Yeah, changing rosters like hotcakes almost, experimenting,
Yeah, it's the
suppose.
LPL. Welcome to the LPL, Rusty. This is what we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, let's not question the logic behind why, but it is early in the season, so they're more than able and willing to do all of these changes. And EDG seem to be the advocates of interesting top laners as we have a Maokai against a Trundle.
Yeah, well, Trundle has been sort of a very clear favorite of a lot of these Chinese top laners. I mean, Flandre was the first one to try it out, but it has seen play across some other teams as well. But, I mean, that Subjugate cannot be written off because you can just make such a massive frontline tank in the Trundle, but you can also create a very squishy tank on the side of Snake. And, I mean, they've only got sort of one dedicated tank that's going to have a whole lot of, like, money to spend on these big items. Of course, Alistair is going to be there, but it's only going to be for a short amount of time while that Unbreakable Will is up. So when you have a single super tank like this, Trundle is so useful.
Yeah, definitely. And the Pillar of Filth is a very underrated spell as well, up against the no mobility heroes, essentially, of you, Beast even, and Martin to a degree. They're all going to be able to... Well, Jinx gets excited, but if you put the Pillar of Filth down, it actually disrupts the Satchel Charge from the Ziggs, I believe. It can stop the Nidalee pounce if you time it right. And a very underrated spell all around from this sustained tank who deals absurd amounts of damage and reduces resistance of tanks such as Flandre.
Yeah, and actually Beast going for a steal away on this blue buff as well. He's going to get it. He's going to take away, I believe, one of the Sentinels and leave the other one up. So successful steal of the blue, and doesn't look like Clearlove's going anywhere near the enemy blue buff. So Beast might have a successful 3 buff here.
A very aggressive start there as Clearlove's going to come over and realize he doesn't have it. So what will be the reaction here from Clearlove is a good question, because he's the one that's going to have to enable the rest of Edward Gaming to get through this early game stage.
Yeah, Koro does lay down that frozen domain. Ooh, Martin's going to get caught by the binding there. Down to about 400 health now as the Rockets are trying to answer the aggression, but the Jinx now quite low on health. Triumphant Roar going to help out as far as Snake's concerned. Martin now having all of his abilities going to help as well, as Flame Chompers are going to be useful. Beast going to head back to base and possibly pick up his blue buff now, as Clearlove will see whether he's going to head over there and possibly contest for that. But the fact that Snake can rotate their bottom lane towards that blue is going to make things very difficult for Clearlove to get anywhere good for EDG.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but EDG also having control of the lane at the moment by a little bit. They're not exactly hard pushing, but if it came down to it, I am certain that a Sivir Morgana can instantly hard push and put some pressure down with the Gragas and force Snake into an ultimatum of, do I want these last hits or do I want to help my jungler who's looking to be taking the blue now and most likely going to be contested
Yeah, and you can see Flandre actually double the farm now of Koro, who has used that teleport to get back to base here. Picked up an extra Doran's Blade to try and weather the storm of this lane, but it doesn't seem to be working out necessarily. Krilov's taken the Scuttle Crab and successful 3 buff for Beast.
Yeah, it's going to be really big for the Nidalee, getting an experience advantage and just control of the blue buffs. Having extra blue buffs for an extra period of time is always going to be a just amazing thing for Nidalee to have. So very comfortable in the jungle is Beast right now. He's doing quite well. And having a look at the entirety of the sides right now, CS advantage to Flandre, but then mid lane's feeling a little bit hard here for you.
Yeah, I mean, Yu hasn't gone back to base yet. Might be able to even out this farm. Actually did. He has, so
yeah.
Picked up the Null Magic Mantle. Not able to get to that Chalice of Harmony just yet. The Bamey has locked down. Pillar of Ice is going to be used. Of course, previously Pillar of Filth. Both of them correct, in my opinion.
Well, it is a filthy ice pillar regardless, I think so.
Yeah, and I just love using the Junkyard Trundle as well, where it still is a Pillar of Filth. There's now Flandre very low on mana, but he's trying to solo out Koro here. Couple more auto attacks.
Oh.
Beast flashes forward after the pounce and just takes him down. Beautiful play for First Blood.
So well played by Beast, and you can see the control that Flandre now has in the top lane ever since level 1, in fact. Considering that Trundle came to lane with no pots and just the Doran's Blade, very easy for Flandre to capitalize on this, and we've seen how that started to come into effect now. Ahead in items, ahead in farm, and now ahead with an assist. He's in a very good position in this top lane.
He most certainly is. Now with that Catalyst of the Protector as well, there's not going to be very much that Koro is going to be able to do to put on pressure. And he's got his floaties on, ready to try and survive this lane, most definitely, as they're capable of quite a bit of harass. But the Bouncing Bomb is going to allow you to just farm from range. And once he picks up either, of course, the Rabadon's Deathcap or, in fact, the Luden's Echo, that he will probably want to be going for, just have wave clear for days.
Yeah, and he does seem to be getting a little bit hard done by here in the mid lane, though. You can see the pressure that Bamey's trying so hard to put down onto him. Ziggs is always going to be able to farm. That's the thing. And you've got the bouncing bombs with a very long range that can bounce multiple times to at least allow you to get CS. So he's going to be okay. But he really is getting pressured out, and you can tell it's starting to affect the CS 10 now. And that's a Ziggs behind by 10 CS.
Oh, and the camp is on here as Beast is looking to try and get some more pressure down onto Koro. Flandre cheating down towards this brush. Probably assuming that Koro wanted to grab that one, as Subjugate has been used here in the top lane. Flandre losing a bit of his health there as the spear, I believe, was going to land. Beast trying to get the pounce back. Beautiful pillar, though, as the spear is going to be dodged out of the way of, and Koro going to survive to live one more time as the Dark Binding actually lands here on the bottom side. Deft able to throw out a boomerang as well, but you can see farm in favor of Jinx, as you would expect.
Did she just tried to spell shield the traps and then they ran out at the exact same time, so not getting the mana and wasting the spell shield. That's a very sad time to be alive as a Sivir right now. Yeah. Jinx really wanting to recall and get that BF sword. 64 CS, might even be able to go for boots or a dagger with it. And this is where the lane starts to find an advantage in favor of Jinx, as Beast is just
spear going to land so easily. Beast picks up his second kill, and Koro's just getting camped.
Yeah, completely getting camped out. Beast is starting to ramp up, has both of the kills, and Maokai doesn't necessarily need the kills. He's going to be fine with the assists, and the farm advantage that he has, by the way, is a fair amount, to say the least.
Yeah, and there's actually the ultimate back here. Yu does use the satchel charge. Nice little alley-oop play there as the tower's going to fall down in the top lane. Clearlove, unable to find anything, was level 6, but Explosive Cast just couldn't find the opening to get that ultimate through. Zap going to lock down some farm here for Martin, as well as the switcheroo helping him out, picking up that minigun form and farming this one out quite nicely. 73 to 72, so Deft and Martin very close, but pretty non-interactive bottom lane thus far.
Yeah, again, they're looking to get Martin back to base. He has so much money right now, but Sivir and Morgana putting down an abundance of pressure, really preventing that from happening. But you have to take into account now they're starting to run out of mana. They're going to have to recall sooner or later themselves, or the kill pressure comes out from the Snake side, especially given that Nidalee is now 2-0. Is going to recall and get the Magus upgrade most likely. Be able to go anywhere on the map and going to be massive from here on out.
Yeah, Magus Enchant, probably tier as well. Oh, actually just opting for the boots. See what he does pick up instead. Of course, went for the tier last time we saw Beast play, but you have to think that if he's going to be finishing the Magus first, he might just forego that. I'm not sure. How important is it to have a tier on Italy?
It's quite important because the amount of mana that you go through if you use anything more than just one spell at a time is very high. So you do want a tier, or you'd have to opt for something that gives the mana regen. If you want to go for Morellos, then so be it. Maybe even the Athenes, because you do want cooldown reduction as well with not just the Magus enchantment. But I guess the fact that they've gone for the boots first, they've upgraded the Magus straight away, is a sign that they want to fight now, and what a better time than at a Dragon.
Yeah, well, 2,000 gold in the lead. Snake, they are going to be able to secure the first Dragon of the game. 10 minutes almost exactly here. As EDG just let that one happen. Beast's going to get caught by the Dark Binding here as well. Soul Shackles is actually going to go off. Mako looking to try and find something as very, very nice chompers and the weaving of the rocket. Oh my goodness. Speaking of rockets, Martin almost able to take down Mako there with the splash of the Super Mega Death Rocket. If it hadn't been nerfed, may have been able to lock down the kill.
Maybe. One of the cuter interactions, of course, though, is that even though Death's spell shielded, the splash still goes off. And doing a lot of damage there to Mako is going to make him hurt. And this Nidalee's hanging around, has chosen a lane, and likes to sit there until there's at least 2 kills, apparently.
Yep, does seem to be the factor here, but isn't going to be able to lock down that pink ward. Only a couple of auto attacks left as Beast is going to leave that one for now. Mako down relatively low, but Beast just going to ward this one up and take down the ward here, and we'll see whether Bamey is going to be able to play as aggressively as he otherwise was, or whether he's going to respect Beast's pressure that he might add from outside of the lane.
Yeah, and while we're talking about Beast, it's definitely important to touch on the fact that he's doing a lot more right now than Clearlove is. And that's a big deal because we mentioned this in the pregame. They really need Clearlove to start ramping their side up, get them accelerated to the team fighting stages. And at this stage, it's looking like the siege that Snake are going to be able to put out on the back of a 2-0 Nidalee, the fact that they've got a Ziggs, and they've got the Jinx with the Zap, who
They've got a 40 CS lead on their Maokai as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a big factor in not dying and being in front of the poke.
Yeah.
Like, their siege is going to be disgustingly high, and if it continues in this upward trend, that's a lot of damage, though.
That is a lot of damage. Unable to quite commit to the all-in here, as Martin stunned up for quite some time, but not going to really find too much from it. Beast now waiting in the wings once more, and we'll see whether the Dark Binding is going to land again, maybe as a bit of a bait this time.
He really has a tense setup when he chooses a lane, doesn't he?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, the Primal Surge is going to be there as well, just to try and keep the Jinx topped up. Of course, that is some fantastic synergy, sort of a pseudo-Nunu.
Yeah.
The Beast does bring to the table.
Yeah, and again, giving them more siege than we thought they already had to begin with. So
yeah,
you can see having the 3-man bot lane, even just the Alistar pressure.
Oh, here's Flandre coming in with a teleport as well. Beautiful Dark Binding from Mako. He's going to stop that one in its tracks, but it's not going to stop the death of this turret. And the turret pressure continues now for Snake. And this is something that I guess Martin brings that wasn't quite there. As Super Mega Death Rocket did come down looking for deft, but not going to find the kill. But, I mean, Crystal was not a Jinx player. That just wasn't a champion that he really liked playing. I mean, if he was going to play a hyper carry, it was going to be the likes of Kog'Maw and Kallisto.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to note that it is Martin now playing the Jinx. And it's changed up the way that they're playing a lot. You can tell that the focus is definitely on the siege, not the hyper carry that you're talking about that has the...
Oh, Beast flashing for it. Oh, takedown doesn't quite get it. Did he cancel it?
He healed.
Oh, beautiful. So, Bamey, it is a summoner spell, trading for the flash of Beast there as Koro pushing this wave up very, very far. But the outer turret in the mid lane is going to fall, you have to think. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket... Mega Inferno Bomb. Super Mega Inferno Death Rocket Bomb. Going to be thrown into the top lane.
The important thing from that right there is even the Ziggs leaving lane to throw the ult is confidence that his team is going to be able to push down the turret.
Yeah.
Now, what they're doing right now is they're completely rotating as a group. They've gone from bottom, and Beast was addressing all of his time in bottom to reduce the 2v2 pressure and pushing that a Sivir and Morgana can do. So they've kept them back at the turret. This allows the Jinx, who's now getting the heal from the Nidalee, the Alistar, who can be in the front line and have that dive threat. One spear hit, they take the turret. They rotate from bottom straight to middle. They force him back, a flash for a heal, but it also made him have to recall. They're rotating in numbers now, and they're rotating for objectives and utilizing what their team comp is designed to do. If they can continue in this upward trend of pushing down, they've got no outers left, so it starts to get harder now. If they can continue to do it, they're looking really comfortable right now coming into this game.
Yeah, and this is 14 minutes in with 3 turrets to 0. Snake have really made short work of these outer turrets, like you mentioned. And that is caused a 4,000 gold leaders. Ella is actually going to go aggressive. Now the On The Hunt has been popped. It's Deft was looking for Martin. The heal was forced out there by the Jinx. Still at about 400 health, but that is a pretty high priority cooldown in the On The Hunt that is now off.
And they've got vision of them coming down bottom for the dive. So they're going to back off because of the river ward. I don't know what they're going to be able to do in response to that besides just let the turret go down. So another smart rotation here, but on this time on EDG is going to give them something back.
Yeah, we'll see whether Yu is going to use that ultimate to try and clear out this wave, possibly get some extra pressure. But no, it looks like EDG are going to be able to lock down this bottom outer turret. So first turret of the game for EDG is going to fall, but 3,000 in the lead are Snake still at this stage. But very early days. And Azir is going to scale fantastically. Koro going to really... He's going to do his job by just pressing R on Flandre. There's the Righteous Glory. Flandre going super aggressive now as Beast. He's back yet again. The takedown doing some work. Pounce still locking down the damage. And Beast, that's his 3rd kill. And the 3rd one onto Koro as well.
With no turret there, it just becomes so much easier. So much more easy to dive. And you can really see how
Koro's become a source of food.
He has, yeah. He's basically cat food right now.
Yeah, he is. Catnip.
Catnip. Whatever you would like to call it, Max. He's a beast right now. And he has the tier available. He's doing a lot. He has the tier, so he's scaling now. He's got that mana pool, which is going to allow them to siege for a prolonged period of time. And again, I keep addressing the siege because that is essentially what their team comp is designed to do. Their team fighting is not going to be as good with the Nidalee compared to the Gragas. So they're going to have to find periods where they fight for a turret or they force... Wow.
Oh, Baby looking for the Emperor's Divide, but had to flash away because he didn't quite get the scoop in. Beast wants to find some spears, but the skill shots aren't quite there for Snake at the moment. This is what their team comp relies on. You were talking about that, but they need to land the poke before they use their engage tools. So please, Snake, start doing that. And then we're going to be able to get something done. EDG have been able to dodge out of the way of a lot of these. Snake now going to start off the 2nd dragon. It looks like EDG may just let this one fall again.
Yeah, Baimi had the right idea there, trying to initiate straight away before any poke could actually come down. And not being able to hit the Emperor's Divide is going to hurt them a lot. And you can see the pressure is being done in response to the 2nd dragon going down. It is a 2nd dragon at 16 minutes, so if they continue on this dragon-taking endeavor that they have so evidently gone for, they'll have the 5th dragon as a win condition.
Yep, true.
They've got all of the kills right now, and they do have the turret advantage. It's going to be on the back of what Snake can do in this next 6 minutes before the 3rd dragon to either not lose the lead that they've now had or to find a bigger lead before the 3rd dragon for them to cement a really good standing in this game.
Yeah, and they're sort of on the mark for about a, I believe, 38-minute 5th dragon if Snake keep picking it up on cooldown. So is that going to be enough time for EDG to scale up and really do battle for that one if we assume that this game is going to continue at the same pace for Snake?
Yeah, you'd be looking at around the 30-minute mark because they're all still farming really well. In fact, Azir is still ahead of the Ziggs in CS. The Gragas is keeping up. Trundle has caught up a fair bit. He's pretty much exclusively split pushing at the moment. Koro's doing quite well in that regard. So they are getting the money that is required of them to start ramping up in their own team fight potential. They're looking okay at the moment. They're just trying to halt what Snake are doing to, again, while they're waiting this 6 minutes for the next dragon, to just completely stop them. Either even just stagnate the game, stop it, freeze it, and just last hit for the next 6 minutes, and then it'll put EDG in a better position.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited to see you back on the Ziggs. Of course, we've been waiting for this ever since we saw you come back to the Rift. Of course, we're standing in for Pawn for quite a bit while he was in the hospital towards the end of last split, but we wanted to see the Ziggs. We were very excited about it, but it's never quite happened, and now, finally, he's here.
He saved it.
Yeah, Frozen Domain is going to be there. Martin heads back to the top, and he's going to farm this one out as well, but oh, Koro, you might be in trouble, buddy. Oh, no, he's safe.
He's managed to just get out there by the skin of his teeth.
Skin of his teeth, indeed. EDG are going to be able to take down this blue buff. Oh, spear blocked by Meg. Oh, there it is. Mega Inferno Bomb locks down the blue buff for you, and he just says, thanks very much. I'll love that.
Yeah, so the pressure there was just giving vision, and the spear came out, and you knew it was blocked. Very good timing on the ult. This is only a sand turret at the moment, so he's going to be quite content with taking that down for an extra 100 gold, which I believe goes straight to his pocket.
Yeah, Ella tanking this one up here just a little bit.
Worth
That
it.
still does damage, by the way, Mr. Cow, but doesn't really matter too much, as he's just going to triumphantly roar his way back to health. How does like a cow yelling give you health back?
It's a great question. How do many things in this game by their spell names actually do what they do?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess minigun makes some sense. Switcheroo makes some sense. You're swapping your guns over, therefore they do different stuff. Makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, they should basically all just be phonetically or visually correct spell names.
So very highly literal spell names. Twisted Advance. Actually, Flandre just twists around a whole bunch. Inner turret, though, in the bottom lane is going to be falling down very fast, down to about half health, but Snake are going to back away relatively quickly. They understand that EDG can collapse and their team fight is very strong without the poke damage to put down. Ooh, come on, Beast. Get your pounces happening. They're in out the vision, though, for Snake. 4 members still here on the bottom side. Mega Inferno Bomb very close to coming back up again.
You can see what they want to do. Like, you understand that they are really trying to siege, but they're having a very hard time actually getting near any turrets for them to have a chance to siege. The closest turret that they've been to in the past 3 minutes has been the sand turret from Azir.
Yeah.
They're struggling right now to find an opening that'll work in their favor. They are getting desperate almost with the rotation. They've gone from mid, they've tried to do something mid, and they pushed it almost in, straight away gone back to bottom, managed to get nothing besides minion control. And at the moment, the top wave is going to have to be reset with 1 minute and 48 seconds until the dragon spawns. They're going to have to reset all the lanes, get them going in your favor. And I'm guessing they're going to either fight for this dragon. That was really cute.
Sneaky little bouncing bomb.
They're going to have to fight for the 3rd dragon as EDG. And unless they want it to be okay as a win condition, it is only the 3rd dragon buff, and 5 is the number that you need. It is the magic number. So they do have about 12 extra minutes of time if they choose to sacrifice this one. And they're starting to ramp up. They've almost got what looks to be either a Luden's Echo or a Zhonya's for the Azir. They've got a Spirit Visage and the Tiamat on the Trundle, who is now getting very tanky with that ultimate. They've got a bit of the items that are required of them. They can pick a fight very soon, but you're better off not doing it in a siege position. You're better off doing what happened before with Baimi and going straight in before you take any damage.
Yeah, EDG have to be very decisive with the fights they're going to take, because otherwise they're just going to get poked down by the bombs, the spears, the zaps, all sorts of things, even little trees chasing after them. As Baimi has done a fantastic job dodging out of these abilities from you. I mean, Hextech Minefield is going to be used just to clear the wave, but I mean, he's dodged bouncing bomb after bouncing bomb in this lane, and it's very difficult to do, especially when you're Azir and you're not all that mobile.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool how the way that he's been doing it is he's not standing near the minion wave, he's standing to the side of it and providing pressure from a different angle. So the Ziggs has to choose between, do I want to control the wave and keep it even between us, or do I want to get pushed in a tower where I'm forced to take damage while trying to last hit?
Ooh, Ella. Dark Binding not going to land. Bit too quick.
Expecting the Duke.
Yeah, the mobility cow was there. Puddle going to be used by Mako, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough, as Martin's going to take the blue buff here as well. Already one sitting there for you, so look, Jinx can probably use it as well. Want to be rocketing as much as possible.
I mean, yeah, he can. I do have questions as to, they've got the Nidalee there. Why not put it onto the Nidalee? She wants to stack the tier quicker.
Yeah,
and
good point.
Throw out spears that'll be doing a lot of damage. I mean, Zap does take a lot of mana, but it doesn't really compare.
No, not quite. Siege situation is going to be turning on its head now as Snake have to deal with the Sun Turret. But, oh, Spear going to be blocked there by the Raptor. Beast going to smite it away in anger and frustration. It is going to be locked down. EDG now with a bit of control over this Dragon, as the Sun Turret is going to be dealt with by Snake. Now it's going to be started off. Clearlove and Deft have already got it down to about half health, but Snake, they don't want to give this one up without a fight. They're trying to take down as much as they can. There's the Righteous Glory. Beautiful Dark Binding, though, as Mako is going to be able to stop that engage. And Snake get the Dragon taken from under their nose.
That was almost too easy there from the side of EDG. They just put down the Sun Turret. They rotated and controlled the vision from where they were in mid, where they were taking the turret, all the way to the Dragon. They put it down so quickly that there was no way for Snake to get there in time without fighting, and the Dark Binding just completely disengaged that opportunity.
Yeah, Mako has landed so many of them as well, as now EDG is a 5-man unit. Going to have to deal with the rotational play of Snake. They're moving around, stealing away another blue buff here as well. as Yu is finally going to be able to lock that one down. EDG now pushing on the inner turret in the mid lane, but what are Snake going to respond with? It looks like they're sending multiple members top lane, but there's not really too much to gather from there as EDG seem to have outmaneuvered Snake a little bit here as Baron was actually started.
Oh,
Yu's
no.
being caught out, is forced to flash over.
Oh,
There's
what?
the Dark Binding somehow managed to get in there as the creep blocking of the Krugs, very rude, gets both of the summoners of the Ziggs.
So they forced them around the long way. You can see it's absurd that EDG have the vision on the top side of the map where they do in Snake's jungle.
Yeah.
But they have so much control of that area. The Morgana over there with the bindings and just the threat of where the rest of EDG were besides the Sivir forced them the long way around, allowed them to get some control of the area. In the end, it forced out a lot of Ziggs' summoner spells, in fact, all of them.
Yeah.
And it made them in a much more comfortable position where this comp, who has been designed to siege here on the side of Snake, I can't see it team fighting too exceptionally without getting the poke down first. They're not being allowed to do all of this because EDG are rotating smartly and quickly before you can react.
Yeah, and Koro now has caught up to 10 CS behind Flandre as well, and Trundle has just put himself out of the game. Just said, I'm going to sit in a side wave and push this entire time, and that is going to be fine. Beast notices that there's a ward down. Doesn't want it to be there for too much longer, and is going to mean that Snake are going to get some positional advantage and some vision control back around this Baron area. Do have a whole lot of Baron damage. Jinx is something that is going to be able to be used for that very effectively. Nice double barrel. Zell is going to triumphantly roar them back up to health again as well. Decent amount of sustain for this team comp at the same time. Of course, Martin's going to have some life steal, but Ella with the Triumphant Roar, you got Primal Surge, you got Flandre's passive there at the same time, and Yu's going to be trying to stand as far away from EDG as he can. So Snake might be able to keep...
These bindings are just ridiculous.
Yeah, Mako's... I want to know his accuracy on that ability, because he's hit a large majority of them.
He would be upwards of 90%, I would imagine, at this stage. A lot of bindings connecting, and Koro not exactly surprising me right now with where he's standing, and that's in a side lane by himself, last hitting minions.
Yep, pushing it out as quickly as he can. Of course, Flandre continuing to stay ahead in farm as another Sun Turret is going to come out from Baimi. Just creating control, and it looks like this Azir seems to be an answer to this comp.
It seems to be just forcing Snake to... It's kind of cool how the Sun Turret denies any chance of them sieging anywhere, and it's actually keeping them so far back.
Yeah.
That it's going to come down to, and that was a really nice spear. You're going to need more of those, and it's going to have to be onto Baimi so that the Azir doesn't have the initiation threat of the Emperor's Divide with the dash. And at the moment, you're right, the Azir does seem to be the answer. It's completely voiding any opportunities that Snake are trying to place. And Edward Gaming using smart rotations on the back of having a Sun Turret or just having the Azir for wave clear in a position. Being able to hard push things down if they choose. It's all, the potential's there. And the turrets have now evened up, granted, so they're going to be able to... The next fight, anyway, will be deeper into someone's side of the map. Depending on whose side of the map it is, Snake want it to be in the side of Edward Gaming, but if EDG continue to rotate the way that they have been the past 5 minutes, it most likely will be in Snake's side of the map, and that'll be a free turret for them with the Sivir.
Yeah, Beast continues to throw out some spears, not quite Mako level.
There's
another Dark Binding's going to land. No surprises there. Was that a flash from someone? No, it wasn't. Just thought I heard it. Not going to be happening. EDG just continuing to farm out in the mid lane. Top laners in the bottom lane, just split pushing against one another. Very tanky is the Maokai. Almost has his Spirit Visage. Ella going to be caught out just a little bit. Just take some poke damage. The cow. Not something that's going to be killed too easily. The Unbreakable Will is, of course, there if he gets into any real danger. You do have the Frozen Heart and the Spirit Visage completed by Koro as well, so he's starting to ramp up in the tankiness. Left it at a Tiamat. Of course, Flandre did like to grab a Ravenous Hydra relatively quickly. Of course, a little bit of extra sustain. Something that's going to synergize with Trundle's kit, just because he gets so much extra health back from everything. And
This
if
is
you've
a free
got...
turret.
Yeah, it's a very free turret from Deft.
It's going to be taken with no trade whatsoever. You can see a lot of the pings now from the side of Snake reactively. We need to push mid down. And I agree with them. They need to do something because it feels like they're a ticking time bomb of if it continues too much longer, they may not be able to come back into this game. They've got a lot of late game scaling. They do a lot of damage late game, but if you have a look at the team comps in a 5v5 situation, it's starting to feel like Edward Gaming are outscaling them.
Yeah, and look, Edward Gaming just have so much extra vision as well. Snake only have about 3 wards on the map at this stage, 4, if you include that one in the Baron Pit as well. But EDG know exactly where Snake are. They're able to answer all of the pushes and make educated decisions as to where to be to allow them to not get pushed out and pick up objectives when they can. And we saw Def capitalizing on that just before.
Yeah, the fact that Civic can go to top that deeply, not contested at all, take a free turret from full to nothing as Mako hits another one.
Yeah, another binding. Look at the auto attacks there as
Wow.
well. Deft actually flashes over, picks up the kill onto Beast. Clearlove very, very low now as the Emperor's Divide going to be used just to try and get Flandre out of that fight. A lot of low members of EDG, but look at the damage. Koro finds his way in the backline as well, and with the Subjugate soaking up so much of this damage, EDG just turn it on when they need to, and that Emperor's Divide from Bamey was stunning.
On the back of Mako hitting another bind.
Another one.
Siva flashing over the wall, getting the attack reset and critting almost both times, I think. Destroying what was left of Nidalee's health bar. Continuing that, the advantage they now have from having no Nidalee available. All Snake was able to do was disengage, but EDG are better at catching them. Another amazing boomerang, clipping the end of Maokai as well.
You could pick up a quadra kill here.
There's no ult, he just used it earlier.
Yeah. Oh, tries to steal it away, but doesn't quite get there. In fact, Bouncing Bomb's not quite finding the targets they were looking for as well. Pillar of Ice going to stop any follow-up in EDG. They lock down the Baron.
They've got their favorite objective in the whole wide world.
Yep.
A dragon is available, so they're going to take that one. It'll be 3 dragons to Snake once this one goes down. They've got something to hope for now, but it does feel like the lead they had was completely wasted on needless time wasting. They needed to give it a go at the very least, have a good attempt at sieging down and utilizing what their team comp seems to be designed to do, but they may have a different idea of what their team comp is designed for.
But if they manage to get sort of the next 2 dragons, which is what they need to get to the 5th, then it's going to put them at about 48 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
43 minutes, sorry. So it's just not quite enough, and here's the replay.
Look at the damage that Siva just did there. Crit straight away. Ella and Flandre now the 2 tanks with nothing to actually support them, so they're just going to feel the slow death. And look at this boomerang too. Right at the tip.
Just the tip.
Destroying them, and the rest of the side just left to run away. Koro doing a lot of work right now for his side. He's a tanky, relevant member, whereas it feels though the Maokai and the Alistar, Flandre and Ella are doing all that they can, but there's no team to back them right now.
No, and all of the kills now on Beast here, and of course, if he's removed straight away, which is what has happened, then he's not going to be doing too much and can't clear out this minion wave. Koro just ignores the Nidalee now and takes down the inner turret, so that's another easy one for EDG. 5 turrets now to 3 in favor of the championship side from MSI. And it just seems in this long game, EDG just have so much more control, so much. The decision-making seems to be right back in their favor as well, with Koro back on the lineup.
Yeah, definitely.
And despite the fact that Koro, he's legitimately fed in the early game. He was feeding, flat out. But now he's ahead in farm, and he's just doing exactly what he needs to. He's on Trundle, he just needs to press Subjugate on Flandre, and EDG just out-comped this team.
In a way, I agree with you. There's still the possibility that Snake can do something, but at the moment, they're starting to get bled out. Deft is doing a lot of damage to these turrets.
Spell shield.
The Spell Shield, the Morgana Black Shield. If they continue this siege up with the Baron minions, it's going to be very hard for Snake to come back into this game if they manage to break the base, and they're going for it.
Yeah, and you can see Bamey as well, just able to zone away with these Sand Soldiers. Snake looking to try and get in there, but look at the Pillar of Ice, just stopping it in its tracks completely. The disengage from Koro, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, there's no answer right now from Snake. I'm trying to think of a way that they can come back into this game, and if it doesn't involve them sieging a turret, which I have mentioned so many times, is because it's basically all that they can do. They've got the late game scaling that is probably matched with EDG, but they do feel out-comp. They've got a lesser team fighting comp, and up against EDG, who, when it comes to late game team fighting, they're very good at it, but that also seems to be something that Snake are quite good at that they aren't utilizing right now.
Yeah, well, it's not something that they've really figured out with this particular comp. And you, I mean, he's on sort of the counter-siege expert in Ziggs, able just to wave clear all the waves, try and get them all out of there, but just wasn't able to take down the Baron minions quickly enough.
Well, if I was to coin this game anything at all, it is 2 to 3 in kills. So there's absolutely no kills across the board here, and we're 34 minutes into this game. It's come down to rotational play and map control. And if I was to tell you which side had more map control, it would be EDG by a mile.
Landslide.
A landslide. They've got so many wards controlled everywhere. Even if they're not on that half of the map, they still have 3 to 4 wards there for no particular reason that become relevant in 2 minutes' time. EDG are on top of their control of this entire map. Snake have no real response, only really having about 3 or 4 wards down at any one time at the moment. Starting to struggle, and the fact that the control is so heavily in the side of Edward Gaming, they've used that and capitalized. Sivir being able to take towers solo in the top lane is the perfect example of control of the area. If a Sivir feels safe by herself, you know you've got control of an area.
Oh, yeah. So short range, of course. Does have the On the Hunt ready. EDG are able to start a fight if they want to. Teleport available from Koro, so you can head down from that top lane. You probably shouldn't be taking too many of those Sun Turret shots.
He just wanted to test how much damage it dealt.
Yeah, Deft actually using the spell shield a bit preemptively there just to make sure that he doesn't get twisted advanced, and Sun Turret continues to do the work. It's Bamey able to set up the mini ARAM here in mid. Flandre wanted to clear out this top wave. So EDG gaining positional advantage around this inhibitor. Loses about half of its health now as Deft very, very aggressive. Throws out some boomerangs. Oh, Ella, aggressive moves there. Unbreakable Will has been popped, but EDG just going to back away. Utilize the time that they have, stall out the ultimate, and then start again.
Their disengage is great. They've got the explosive cask, the Pillar of Ice, even the Azir, even the Sivir ult while I'm going in the Black Shield. They're going to be able to
speaking of Sivir ult, you with a decent alley-oop of some minefields there as Deft goes very aggressive onto Ella, but it is going to cause what they were looking for. The inhibitor's going to fall down. Lots of damage with that Mega Inferno Bomb as Bamey's trying to get out of there. Martin has used the ultimate already, but Beast might be in trouble. Seraph's shield is going to be used there, but Koro, you can see, doesn't take any damage now, and Deft heals up over that one. Koro going down relatively low. Martin kiting this one out. Ella, he healed back up, and it is just going to be Koro sacrificing himself for that one. But Flandre, he did manage to pick up the kill onto the Morgana there. This very, very tanky Maokai trying to do some work. Deft gets exploded. Martin with so much damage, but the double kill immediately responded by Bamey there with one auto attack from these Sand Soldiers. Azir, you just cannot get in range of that auto attack because it just destroys you. But it's a one trade for Snake.
That was a crazy prolonged fight, to say the least. It just went for such a long period. They had Flandre start the fight out, took a lot of damage, went back to base, teleported in to secure the Morgana kill, and then continued to push into the rest of them. That whole time, the Trundle was tanking, Maokai was tanking. So I guess in that regard, it worked out really well for Snake. They've picked up a 4th dragon now.
Yep.
This is really good for them. They've lost the inhibitor. They just need to get control of the outer wave minions, the top and bottom lane minions, control the mid lane, and they're going to have to look to the 5th dragon as their big win condition. But with Baron up in 5 seconds, easier said than done.
Yeah, well, EDG have to get denied this Baron if Snake want to stay in this game. That is just flat out what it has to be, because otherwise they take another inhibitor, and as soon as 2 inhibitors are down, it's not a whole lot they can do. Of course, you now has that trinity of mid lane items in the Rabadon's Deathcap Athenes and, of course, the Void Staff. So he's going to be doing a whole lot of extra damage. But I'm not even sure whether even a Ziggs and a Jinx have the wave clear to deal with the amount of pushing power that EDG is going to provide.
So they're able to deal with the minions. They're not really able to deal with the champions at the moment because the pressure that EDG are actually putting down.
Especially Bamey. Man, this guy is just huge.
Yeah, he's a big threat. Even just putting down the Sun Turrets is forcing them back into their base in a position they don't want to be. You can see the disengage again. The side that Edward Gaming have, their disengage is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It stops any engage attempts that Snake are trying to do. And is he looking the home guard?
Yeah, we're looking for some teleports. As he has finished up the Hydra, he's got another cowl. The Banshee's Veil is going to be the next item to come through here as Snake, decent spear there from Beast. It is going to be Koro just leaving the base, decides not to use the home guard teleport that they did have. Just wants to get himself into a position to be useful now instead of just waiting for an opportunity. Still, this game, no kills in it.
Yeah.
6-4 in favor of Snake as far as the kills are concerned, but 4,000 gold, still the lead for EDG, and they just have the objective control.
That's it. The difference, about 4,000. The difference is also about 4 turrets. So
Yeah.
the entirety of the control of this game has come down to objectives and turrets. So a very, very slow-paced, entirely objective-focused game, and it's being played out really well and calmly, for lack of a better word here, by EDG, yeah.
And look, you've got Koro there in the bottom lane again. Another Dark Binding, surprisingly, is going to land onto Flandre. Takes a bunch of his health and damage. And you can see you as well actually used that heal. Deft is going to pop the ultimate now as well as Flandre. The super tank is going to go down super low. He's dead as Bamey locks down that kill. And Snake have lost their one super tank without Koro even being there. He's going to take down the bottom inhibitor turret as well. EDG just systematically removing objectives off the map. Mako just going to tank up the spear because he just doesn't care at this stage. And second inhibitor going to fall down. That's in the bottom lane. EDG, Baron on a silver platter if they want it. But they may just push in because Bamey wrecking people on this Azir. His Azir player has been fantastic. Top lane inhibitor turret, it's going to fall down. Spear going to pick the gap in between these EDG members. Third inhibitor falls. And look, Snake just don't look like they can play this controlled poke-style game. They look like a team that wants to be team fighting, and they're unable to do that with this comp.
You said it. They're looking to siege with this comp, but what they really want to be doing as an actual team is fighting. So it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't fit them.
It just doesn't suit.
No.
But in saying that, they're still up in kills. They've got the chance of coming back into this game. You have to take into account that the Nidalee now has the Void Staff and will be doing a lot of damage to priority targets.
Yep.
They're going to be able to at least stop the Baron from going down right now. Because 3 inhibitors are down, if they don't get this Baron, it's going to be game over for them.
Yep, the desperation Baron play here as you has to use his satchel charge to get him over the wall. There's the Emperor's Divide just going to stop this fight from moving in a position that they want to, but that's going to be Jinx falling down first. Bad news for Snake here is EDG turning it on. And oh my goodness, Flandre tanking up Deft forever. He's just going to systematically move throughout this team, rip people apart, not to mention Bamey as well is just doing so much work. Inhibitor in the mid lane is going to fall, respawn for Snake, but EDG now with everyone dead on the side of Snake, apart from Beast and you. EDG just going to move forward with the super creeps and possibly just end this game.
Well, they don't need the Baron. They've got the advantage of about 3 members right now, except Mako, who just conveniently goes down to a spear. But it seems to me as though there's no way for them to stop this push right now. EDG looking exceptionally strong in their objective control and slow-paced gameplay, which is not really akin to what you're used to seeing from them. You like the team fights that Edward Gaming put through, and they've just dismantled Snake.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected, and Snake now not with quite the winning record against EDG anymore. Still up there, of course, it is now, I believe, 3-2 in favor of Snake. We'll see whether Snake can pick up a victory in their next one, but man, that was Snake getting ahead early. They preyed on Koro. Of course, Beast picked up some kills, but they're just unable to make these Nidalee comps really work out. I've never really been that impressed by Beast unless they manage to snowball completely out of control, which I just don't think they were ever going to be able to do. The damage control from EDG is just too good.
Yeah, it's funny. We've seen 2 Nidalees, and now we've also seen 2 Nidalee losses from the side of Snake. And he was 3-0. He was doing a lot of work for his team. He did pick on Koro, and it was successful. But then it didn't translate into anything, and they tried to outscale a side that was outscaling them, because they were designed to team fight, whereas Snake were looking to siege, and they just couldn't do it. The Azir completely halted them in their tracks, no chance to siege, and EDG slowly rolled their way over. It was methodical, calm, collected, and very slow pace with almost no kills into the end of the game.
Yeah, 9-7 was the kill score in the end, but I mean, it was sitting on 3-2 for
a
very long period of time, and EDG just slowly but surely took that one down, and they won it it was vision control.
Yeah.
And it was Mako landing every single Dark Binding he ever threw out.
Well, that's going to help.
Yeah, I really want to actually find out what that statistic is. I'm going to use the next break time to do my very best to find that one out. But ladies and gentlemen, when we return, it will be Game 2 between Snake and EDG. Don't go anywhere.